Hi, everybody. Good morning. We are really excited to have guest DJ Skrillex remixing the beats for this podcast. We are sorry about the construction noise. I think it's just going to be an ongoing thing. It's kind of the price that we pay for being in the city.
Yeah. They were quiet yesterday.
Of course they were. I mean, I was here yesterday morning.
Today.
Which doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because it's raining today. And yesterday it couldn't have been clearer. And I'm just like, this is an interesting thing. Anyway, construction report across the road. There's some sort of steel strut. I saw Karen from upstairs earlier, and we made the face at the hole.
Kind of face, yeah.
Well, we said good morning kindly to each other, and then both looked at it and went, and then continued on with our mornings. I'm glad we've gotten to that point with our wonderful, beautiful people who work around us. So, welcome to our knitting podcast from our yarn shop, Get Flock. This is What the Flock. I'm Ethan.
I'm Emily.
And we're here to talk to you about everything we've got in store, some new things that are going to be coming up, some possibilities that we've just started exploring that are very exciting.
Yes.
Emily has clearly finished something, which we will get to shortly. She has a beautiful new project on the needles.
I do.
And I am still knitting the same thing because I have knit approximately 4 rows since last week because I have been just kind of pushed into a state of...
Does that sum it up?
I mean, it sums it up better than it should. Yeah, I've just been put into a position... Oh my goodness. They're jackhammering with a giant thing. I've just been pushed into a position where I've got not a lot of time to get a lot done. Someone has made it so that I'm many months behind on my work, but we are getting through it. So, with all of that in mind, actually, we've gotten so much done in the last couple of weeks, haven't we? Oh, we have so much to share. Okay, so if you do enjoy this, which... Thank you for enjoying this. I really appreciate it. Please hit the subscribe button down below. Share it with all your friends. The more of you there are, the more we can do with this channel. And we are still excited to grow and try out some new things, like possibly renting a studio space to record. Woo! Okay, so we'll be right back with what we're working on, what's coming up in our knitting queue, and maybe a little bit of some hints of some things that we're going to be bringing in soon. Ooh. Oh my goodness. 10-second reprieve, but the tram is, as soon as I said it. So, Emily, what have you finished? What are you working on? Tell the people all the details and remind them about what is coming up.
Yes, so I finished my press flowers.
Yes.
And I love it. I need to steam block the sleeves again because we have a bit of a crease situation from when I blocked the rest of it. And they're a little short, but I actually don't mind that because I scrunch them up most of the time.
Yes.
And they might, once I steam block it, even out a bit. I really love it. It's so pretty. And I had the perfect vintage buttons in my stash.
Yeah, they were so cute.
I can't even remember where I got them. I've had them for a while. But yeah, they're like the perfect peach to go with the midsummer.
Yeah, they are.
So this is Spincycle Midsummer and Kiwiana Moss in the high twist, which I really loved working with. It's super soft and squishy.
Could we say that it's super smooth and squishy? Maybe it's not as soft, perhaps? Or it's equally soft and smooth?
To me, I feel like it is soft.
Right.
And it's not smooth because of the twist.
So, I have to say, I'm just going to butt in because I've been having these conversations a lot lately, not just with you. I actually find that particular yarn to be both. May I touch you? Just for the record, that's the appropriate way to ask someone if you can touch them when they're wearing a garment to everybody who just comes up and rubs me. Yeah, see, I do find, so my test for this that I find quite interesting is when I go back and forth across the grain of the stitches, that helps us to determine how soft something is, where when we move in the grain of the stitch, feel how it's got that slightly different smoothness to it if we compare it with this one, or if you go back to back, it feels soft, but if you go this way, you can feel how it has a little bit more texture to it. I spend a lot of my time swatching and touching yarn, and it's led me to this. I actually have never felt such an urge to walk outside and scream at people I don't know, which is something. Anyway, that's my hot take.
Yeah.
I think it's soft and smooth. That's my opinion. Here we go.
Well,
but it looks beautiful.
Yeah, I'm obsessed. I love it.
Yeah.
And it's just,
I mean, you're
feel like
wearing
it
it in this
suits
weather,
me.
which
I know,
nice.
I'm a bit warm.
Yeah.
I did put the aircon on last night so that I could wear it to knit my and not die.
Incredible.
But I just feel like it's really going to fit in my wardrobe. Like,
Yeah, I think
feel
you
like
nailed
the
it
shape
with this
is
one.
pretty good and like the fit and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very happy with it.
Great.
I did make it a little bit shorter than the pattern. I did like 10.5 from the underarm.
The pattern, in my opinion, is already quite cropped. So
Well, it's supposed to be 12,
right.
but then when I blocked it, it kind of went to 12. So
Okay.
which is also fine.
Yeah.
But I probably wouldn't have wanted to.
And you
make
definitely
it.
knew that from your super careful giant
Yeah.
swatch that you made with
Yeah. Well, I knew it was going to grow, but I didn't know specifically
how much.
how much.
Yeah,
I didn't need to know that. It worked
Okay.
out.
absolutely.
So we are having a Galentine's party next Wednesday. So same time as our normal pizza knit night, 6 to 8. And we will still have pizza,
Yes.
but there will be additional treats and fun decorations.
And beats
And-
provided by Skrillex next door.
No, I'm going to make a like love playlist.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah.
So cute. I can't wait.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun.
Amazing. I am very, very excited.
So that is also the end of the Press Flowers knit along and the Pink Fizz knit along.
Yes.
So
And if you are coming to the party, if you could wear whatever you finish for any knit along that
Yeah.
we've run,
Yeah.
or anything that you finished since we started the shop, we would love to get a group picture. So if you're
Yes.
watching this, please come along and bring something hand knitted. We know it might be a put it on for the photo, take it off, but we would really, really love to see some things.
I think it is supposed to be like 29 degrees this week. So
Finally, a time to wear my summer jumpers.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm not kidding. I tried to wear one the other day and it was like 18 degrees and I almost died.
So I had to block this before I did the ribbing. So while it was blocking, I cast on something.
What are you working on?
So I am working on the Traveller Cowl by Andrea Mowry.
Yeah.
And this is Ghost Ranch Dream State. I scrolled 2 skeins of Ghost Ranch a couple drops ago. And I was sort of thinking of what it could go with, and then decided I could just use it on
Sorry,
its own.
just 1 second. The signs still say open.
Yeah.
Someone left them out. Hi, I'm so sorry. We're actually not open quite yet.
Sorry?
We're not open
Not
quite
open
yet.
yet?
Yeah, sorry about
Oh.
that. The signs are just flipped around the wrong way. In the defense of the people who just tried to come into the shop, everything does say open.
Because Emily forgot to turn it around.
It's okay. The sign didn't get stolen from outside last
No.
night either.
Or the ankle weights.
Yeah. I thought for sure that some of our local unhoused community would be getting super jacked with those ankle weights this morning, but I was wrong, everyone. I was wrong. So you're working on the Travel KAL by Andrea Mowry. I'm really hoping I can edit out some of this background
I
noise.
don't think you can.
In Ghost Ranch.
Yes. Yeah, so I decided to just let the Ghost Ranch be by itself because like there's quite a lot of colours in it. And I feel like if I was
Yes.
putting it with something else, I would end up losing them.
So the Traveler Cowl, Andrea knit her sample out of her handspun.
Yes.
If I understand this correctly.
And I need 3 skeins
Perfect.
of Dream State, but you can do it in other weights as well. You just have to figure out like
The gauge mat
Yeah.
situation. Okay, cool.
so yeah, I've just got 3 skeins of this and I'm just going to do it all in Ghost Ranch because I feel like there's quite a lot of variation anyway. Like
Yeah.
I don't need to add
I don't think the
colours.
Spincycle needs help to be busier.
Yeah. So I'm just rolling with that. So
So
this is the
pretty.
back neck. I think this is the bit that you seam.
Mm-hmm.
And you knit it flat, which in this pattern is a little tricky because you're knitting it flat. There's purl rows and knit rows, but you end up knitting and purling on.
Yes, because this is knit in what I would refer to as double garter stitch.
If you say so.
That's what that stitch pattern is technically called.
Yeah.
Whether or not designers refer to it as that is a different story, but that is double garter stitch. So you stack knit in purl rows so that essentially you have a double stack of bumps to the front and a double stack of bumps to the back, which means you can end up going basically like purl across a row, knit across a row, then knit back across that row, then
Yeah.
purl back across that row. So it's a little bit of a trip.
So there's like the bit I'm in at the moment is a 10 row repeat, but it's only really like the first 4 stitches that you have to concentrate because there's like the I-cord edging and increases and stuff. But then like either side of those first 4 stitches is just either knitting or purling. So
good.
yeah. So I've done quite a bit. I only started it on Sunday.
You're chewing through it. I do have to say, for everyone at home as well, your knitting speed has really increased in the past 6 months. It's super impressive.
Yeah, it still took them over a month though. Like, not super, super fast.
Oh, I think if we compare it to some of your first garments, that is still really quick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's celebrate the wins, buddy.
Yes, I did find this one. I quite often find when I'm knitting, I lose concentration and find that I've stopped. Because I'm like listening to something or watching something and I'm not continuously, but this kind of kept my interest going. So I didn't stop.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
There's a family of woodpeckers.
I mean, they certainly are pricks. Anyway, moving right along. I am sorry, everyone, that I do freak out about the construction noise. We've been dealing with it for months.
Yeah.
And I find it maddening. Anyway.
What are you making?
I'm still working on my second Snowden pullover. I've just been so busy, and unfortunately, when I'm busy writing and doing other things, my hands are occupied. So, in the name of getting ahead and making this a big, wonderful year for myself, as opposed to an ongoing nightmare, I'm just working hard on other things, and I'm gonna have to come back around to some pattern writing after this next couple of weeks. So it has kind of reduced the urgency for me personally to knit this Snowden pullover quickly, which is a little bit nice, but I would also like it done so that I can cast on something new.
Yeah.
So, and this is the second piece. So this is the front, and then I just have the sleeves and the collars to knit, which won't take very long. So I am actually making good time. I've separated for the fronts, and I now understand exactly how to do it, which is the other problem is I came up with a new concept for myself in my design work for knitting this pullover that I'm wearing. And so I actually needed to make it again to make sure that I understood what I was doing.
And so you can write it out kind of thing.
Yeah, and I'd really like to make a third one, if I'm being honest, in dream state. So I'm just trying to get myself through this so that I can start a third one actually.
Is this the proclaimed Dear Diary?
Yeah, I have it at home. It's sitting there. I've wound it. It's just going to take a little bit of time to get there.
Yeah.
So that's what I have on the go, and I literally only have this one project that I'm actively knitting at the moment, and I've only got one other thing cast on, which is still my brioche top-down cardigan, and it's just going to take as long as it takes at this moment.
Have you finished your high street one? Or is it still...
Oh, I have to seam it.
Oh, yeah.
It's just sitting there waiting to be seamed, but yeah, all those other time and hand pressures.
Yeah.
Just kind of eaten through my life at the moment. But it is really, really good. And the other nice thing is I do have visitors coming from North America in the next couple of weeks, which is quite exciting. So I am looking forward to that, and it does necessitate taking some time off while they're here. So that'll be a really good opportunity to chill a little bit, take a week, drive around the South Island, and then come back and celebrate the wonder that is our city here in Christchurch.
It'll probably be completely different by the time you come back.
I mean, I hope the construction is done. Perfect timing that time. So we will be right back to talk to you a little bit about some new things that we have coming up and some new ideas that I am interested to try out that I have yet to really inform Emily about. So this will be fun for her to find out on camera about some of these things. Great.
I'll get my poker face ready.
Yeah, prepare. We'll be right back. So we have been reaching out to some various yarn companies to bring some additional products into the shop, which is really, really exciting. So we've got a couple of new possible suppliers, and we're going to be placing some orders with them and also restocking on some flocks tools and bringing in just some kind of more variety. It'll be a little shallow at first, but it means that we'll just have some more options floating in. And with most of these companies, we can also offer you guys the opportunity to do special orders and other things, and we are always happy to do that. We are building up our systems for how to do special orders and manage those things, and we are working towards a hedgehog fiber restock, but there's a lot of things that happen at once in a yarn company and in a yarn shop, it turns out. So we are going to try to keep you as updated as possible as we move through the next month or so, which is super fun and exciting for us. So, with all of that being said, we should say that we've been talking to Isager Yarns from Denmark quite a bit.
Yes.
And hopefully, in the next little bit, we will be able to place an opening order with them, which is super, super exciting for me. I have really admired their yarns for a long time. And I'm very excited to work with them myself, quite honestly. And also because we are trying to expand our Mohair offerings. It's a little, I don't want to say tricky, but a lot of people have a lot of the same mohair. So we've been on a hunt to find some unique options to offer you, which includes some offerings from Daruma in a bulky weight that we're definitely looking at bringing in because ultra fluff is going to be amazing. And then I also love the idea of the Isidore silk mohair, which comes in the cutest little balls. They're so adorable. And then finally, we have been talking to the wonderful people at the Fiber Company, and we are going to be bringing in some of their things, including possibly their very interesting brushed alpaca fluff called Zero, which across the board, people are just, now that fluff is popular again, it's amazing to witness the uptick in the quality, the availability, and the variety of fluff out there. When I started knitting many, many moons ago, mohair was not necessarily the most coveted thing to be working with, and synthetics were definitely the yarn-based du jour, if you will. There was a lot of acrylic, a lot of polyester, some truly shocking chenille polyester yarns that still to this day I'm relatively horrified by. But it's been really interesting for me, and I was kind of interested to have a little chat about this on camera today, Emily, and see. So when I came back into knitting garments and things, no, don't worry, I did try a couple of mohairs out, and I did not have the world's greatest experiences, which has led to me waiting a long time to then later on work with much higher quality silk mohairs that are available today. Now, have you done much in mohair yet, Emily?
I did my tessellated vest.
Yes.
I think that's the only mohair because I've used boucle a bit for my fluffle and my simple sweater. But so that was fluff, but not mohair fluff.
Totally. Now, as somebody who's been knitting largely in like the current era, if you will, with high quality mohairs, has there been anything that, except for the fact that we genuinely for a long time we worked somewhere where we were not selling mohair, so it's not something that we had access to really. And when you work in the industry, your yarn choices are often dictated by what you actually have available, because when you go too far outside of it, it gets a little messy to communicate to people, and you'd be amazed how angry people get with you. I'm constantly amazed by it. But if you were picking a dream project, dream mohair situation yarn, what would you be looking for in those two things? I'm just curious.
For me, it's I mainly go by colours. Colours are my like driving factor.
This actually helps me understand a little bit better about some of the conversations we have about your projects.
Yeah, like colour is my main, and then softness. Softness,
yes.
Or like, because I'm my skin is sensitive to everything, not just wool. Like I can't wear metal, I can't wear perfume, like makeup.
Yes, I've never seen you with earrings in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Like my body is just like at war with the world. So that is very important. That is very important to me is how it feels against my skin. And depending on the project, right? So if it's something where it's going to be like a layer and not actually touching me, then it's not as like crucial, I guess.
Right.
Like that's why I like wearing brooches, because they're like jewelry that's not touching me.
Right. This makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I think it's a very logical approach.
Yeah. So yeah, color is
color selection. And I will say having a big color selection of mohair does seem to make a very big difference for a lot of knitters.
Yeah.
I think people are looking for a really precise color match is what I've noticed over time.
Yeah.
I also know that doesn't actually do what people think it's going to do, which is quite funny, because mohair takes color really quite differently to other fibers. It's much more lustrous. So you tend to end up with quite a bit more intensity on a mohair base, especially if it has a silk core, because both silk and mohair display color in a more saturated way. Yeah. So with those ones, what I've noticed over time is what you get with the mohair glow, which is what people describe quite a bit, does have quite a lot to do with the core of the mohair. So if you're someone who's used to working with mohair in a more nylon polyamide core type, you might not experience quite the same luster and glow that other knitters do, and you might have noticed that they talk about it quite a lot. I have recently worked with mohair, and I'm having a bit of obsession actually with it as well. And I would really like to dig in and get some time to knit some Mohair held double, which I have not done in a very long time. But I'm really personally fascinated by knitting something in DK weight and then knitting it again with a Mohair held double to achieve the same gauge and doing like a really good compare and contrast between the fibers. I do know that Mohair silks add a lot of wonderful drape while adding quite a lot of texture and richness to a fabric. So I think just expanding our Mohair selections in general. And honestly, for me, for many years, I had such a negative association with Mohair, and this is a thing as me as a knitter that is just not accurate to the Mohair today.
I think you can see, like, if you sometimes see, like, in op shops or charity shops, there's quite often Mohair from, like, the 80s, and it's just, like, a matted kind of blob. Whereas, like, none of the Mohairs we've seen, you know, they're all very, like,
they're so
delicate
fine and
defined
delicate, and you can see, like, the individual strands of the Mohair spilling out from this beautiful silken core. And I will be honest, we do carry quite a luxurious Mohair. Our Cessia Mohair, the Vivienne, is very, very luxurious and lovely, and we are looking to bring in other things at that quality level, or better if we can.
And we have the lovely yarn fleecy.
Yes, which I've used, and I have 2 more skeins in my stash ready to be turned into something just as soon as I'm finished with this, actually. That might be a nice break. I might take a little break.
The lovely BB who comes to our knit nights is using the Cessia Vivienne at the moment, and it's like a ducky colour, and the silk core is like white, so it's giving like a real like glow to the. Yeah,
exactly. So I will say my primary selection criteria when I'm knitting and doing things is not color. That's probably the last thing I consider. My first selection criteria is usually fiber content. Then I like to swatch quite a bit, so I tend to make many swatches before I cast on. And I really like to experiment with fabric types and knitting things at different densities and seeing what that does to it. And I think because my preference for knitting flat, there's not a lot of patterns available today that are designed with Mohair in mind that really interest me. So
most of them are seamless top down.
Yes, and honestly, those patterns just don't do particularly well on my body. So I'm going to be going I think we're going to be going in some possibly divergent over the course of the year Mohair adventures, but I think we're actually starting off the same, which is going to be fun.
Yeah, my next project is kind of knit flat.
It is, yeah. You're going to be folding.
It says it's suspicious. It's has a secret seaming technique that's unusual.
We should always be ready to welcome Nora Gone into our lives. That's what we're learning.
I'm dipping my toes.
I'm so excited. I can't wait. So we do have many new things on the horizon. We just thought we'd share a little bit of a preview of what's coming up. Please remember, we are taking not a break, but a rest between knit-alongs, and we're coming back on April the 4th with Knit Fast, Dye Warm, and we are going to race through until May 4th, knitting an entire garment in that time period. You can either knit in the round, knit flat, or knit one of my patterns. And if you knit one of my patterns, you're double dipping. You get 2 possible entries. We're going to have some fun prizes and other opportunities. And apart from that, I think we should probably head out and get ready for the day.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you for hanging out with us and with our guest DJ, Skrillex from across the road. And we hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Okay. Bye.